All right, hi, this is Atticus, and welcome to part 3 of our playthrough of Scenario 3, Flagler's Folly, set down here in Florida and southeast U.S. And we are in pretty good shape. We've got good growth going here. We've got Jacksonville at 100%. We've got Tallahassee at 99.7, Pensacola at 99.9. We've got Miami at 91.7. It is missing cloth, which hasn't made its way down. We're producing cloth in two places up here in Atlanta to feed our cluster, and that's available to these three, and we're trying to hopefully this one will feed at least these two plus itself, so that Jacksonville is free to feed these three cities. So what we really have is a 3-city cluster with help from Atlanta, and then a 2-city cluster with help from Jacksonville, because the cloth is odd because there's only one source for it. There's only one wool producer, and at the start of the game there's only the one factory in Atlanta. There's nothing down here. So we ended up knocking down the beer that was in Jacksonville and replacing it with cloth to try to get better flow of cloth down this way. Because this one is all about growing some cities, and mainly growing Miami. That's the whole deal. Now let's see, Tampa, which is surprisingly hard to click on because there's so much track in there. There we go. Is at 75%. It's missing wood. Do we have a line running wood? What are you? Nope. Do we have a line that runs down to Tampa? We are missing that. No wonder they're not getting wood, because wood, the only source for wood is up here. So let's run, let's see, they're getting grain, sugar, corn from down here. So I'd like to kind of just keep it to the wood. So let's just bring wood down to Tampa on a freight line, which would be the Santa Fe. But we're about to do something a little different on that too. But let's see if we can get some wood headed down to Tampa. There we go. That'll help Tampa grow. All right. So I read a post. It's been a while. I've had a little gap here between 2 and 3, part 2, part 3 of this one. And I read a comment Tarek posted on, I think it was on the first part, and he mentioned the engines. And if you kind of look at the Santa Fe that we're using, it's 89 mile an hour. It has 204 tractive power, and then the reliability is not great, and the maintenance. Well, I don't understand this. Okay, maintenance requirements 36%. What does that mean? And then you've got research drops at 40%. Oh, causes less maintenance, but your personnel raises at 25%. Which, see, those don't make sense. Those don't make sense, do they? To me, that doesn't make sense. If I research and improve my maintenance, then it looks like you want the maintenance requirements to be as low as possible. But now I've got personnel improvements, right? Because we've got that engineer improvement that means we need 50% less maintenance, but it shows the personnel as plus 25%. So how could that either somebody explain that to me, which I would like to hear, or developers, you need to fix that. So that's wrong. So I don't know. I'm assuming the lower the maintenance requirements, the better. But I don't know. And here we've got research improved our reliability. So the higher the reliability is better. The lower the maintenance requirement is better, which in of itself is confusing. But that minus 40 plus 25 is really confusing. And then consumption, research lowers it some, but it goes up. What does this mean? Could someone in the comments explain this to me? I'd be happy to make a video on a fundamentals video on how to read this, except I can't read it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm being a little dense, but I can't read it. Anyway, where I was headed with all that is here's the Flying Scotsman that's 134 miles an hour peak, and it gets 120% tracting power, which we've seen is actually pretty good. And you're at 200 here and 89 to 134. It's at 45 miles an hour faster. That's way faster. And then the minus 40 plus 20, 35. I don't know what this means. Reliability has gone up. It's a little more reliable. Consumption is 50. Let's see. Consumption's 65, which is, I guess, worse. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take all of our trains and run this express train on them. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's just, I can't think of a reason why you wouldn't. Now, one thing I do want to explain here, though, so there's 36 trains in total. If we look at the Scotsman, there are 12. And if we look at the Santa Fe, there's 24. So there's only 24 Santa Fe's, and that's what we're really replacing for $559. And if you go look at the Scotsman, it says 0. If we do them all, it's still the same price, even though it says there's 36 trains. You're actually only replacing 24 of them, the Santa Fe. So this, in this particular case, this is exactly the same as doing this, right? Okay. So now we're going to run Flying Scotsman on everything and see how that works out. And I think what it'll do, put it very simply, is it'll make our lines faster, our freight lines. So, for example, here, let's do Pensacola to Tallahassee. This is the one that goes back and forth on these northern warehouses and exchanges goods between Pensacola, Tallahassee, and Jacksonville, right? And with the Flying Scotsman, it's 15 days. If we were to go to the Santa Fe, it's 22 days. We gain, it can run that entire loop a week faster. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to run that Flying Scotsman everywhere. All right. We'll see how that goes. And put in the comments what you think about that, other than the realism factor, which I'm not even going to get into. And by the way, realism comments, they kind of are meaningless when you think that I can sit here and say, oh, I want to run track between Jacksonville and Charleston, and I can lay that track in literally 0 time, right? So let's not talk about realism. What does realism have to do with anything here? I like realism. I like it to be realistically based, historically based, and all that stuff. But if the only argument it has, it's unrealistic to use it's unrealistic to use that train. Period. I think in Florida. I mean, were there any Flying Scotsmen running in Florida in 1905 or any time for that matter? I doubt it. I don't know for sure. One of you guys who's really into trains, tell us about that. Okay. So you guys got a lot of assignments out of this one. Okay, let's see what else we got going. We've changed all the trains. We're getting ready. I think we have an immigration office here. We're waiting for 30,000 here and here to get immigration offices there. Same deal here. We're waiting for 30, and we got that immigration office, so we should grow this one more quickly. And then Miami is much smaller, of course. We're just looking for the chance for 30 here, and we want to deal with that textile issue, the cloth. So let's deal with that first. So we know that we've got cloth coming down here, but it's not here. So it does us no good if it's not down here. So let's go up here and see what's going on. We had 2 trains on that line so they could run faster, but they're not going fast enough. Now, if we look at our demand for cloth, the demand across the board is only 2, right? So this guy who owns this is saying, well, I'm making more than 2. I'm perfectly fine. I'm making enough. But no, they're not, because we're trying to go faster than we don't want just a balance system. We want a balanced system that is fast where we need it to be fast. That's the argument for buying these things. So we're going to pay a little money and buy that and bump it up one. There we go. So that costs a bunch of money, but that's okay because we need this to have stuff available. So anytime our trains feel like they want to take some out of there, they can do it. All right. So that should help the cloth issue. The other thing is the way we've got this set up. We've got it going. See, Jacksonville, Tampa. There are 3 trains here. This is the mail train. You can tell by that express goods, right? It only carries express goods. This one only carries freight. So these 2 are freight trains. These are the ones we need to look at. So what is your line? This guy is Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami, Tampa, hauling freight, right? Okay, and then this other line is probably, I think it's a copy of the same thing. It's a copy of the same thing. So it begs the question, do we want to set up a line that goes straight to Miami? I think we're okay. I think the key is really, the problem really is the having enough wool down here to keep this thing going. That's our problem right now. And I think we addressed that by bumping that up. And then if we look at the consumption of cloth, here and here, it's a total of 1. And this business is at 1.6, so we should be able to keep enough cloth coming down here to at least keep these 2 busy. Yeah, okay, I think we're good on that. So what else can we get into? Well, we did want to look at the end of the last one, as I recall, and it seems like it's been forever. We split off the passenger line, right, and made it passenger only. And then we built a second line going into the freight station that has the post office on both ends, and it is this guy here. So it's making 30 a week, and then this guy is making about 30. So we're making about 60 versus Jacksonville to Tallahassee makes 60, just with the 1 train, right? So is there any benefit to having more? I don't know. It's a really good question. I mean, you would think maybe you could do a little more, but I'm not going to mess with it for now. What I do want to look at, though, interestingly enough, remember that hillbilly astrologer dude made another one of his crappy videos, but he was talking about, and he had a setup to look just like this. I don't know how he gets into my head, because he did what I was thinking about doing for this one. Anyway, he took this setup similar to this one and had all these stations able to go everywhere. I want to check to see if that's true. If you're in Jacksonville, can you go everywhere? Well, look at this. Interesting. If I'm in Jacksonville, I can't. How could that be? I can't go to Miami? Something's wrong. Something is wrong. If I'm in Jacksonville, I can't go to Miami. There's no way that's true. Jacksonville to Miami, transfer in Tampa, go there. So, okay. All right, I say it's no way that's true. Obviously it's true. It just said that. But why? What's going on? Jacksonville to Tampa. Do you suppose? Oh, it couldn't be because we split the passengers and mail, could it? It couldn't be. Nah, that doesn't make any sense. Huh. Look at this again. Miami, we've got a line that's going from Miami to Tampa. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, I haven't goofed it up somehow, have I? No, it can haul both passengers and mail. Doesn't anybody want to go from Tampa to Miami? Look at this. There's 14 a week that want to go, but nobody goes to Miami. How could that be? Could that just be a reload kind of weird situation deal going here? Well, let's watch this train and see what happens. See if it picks up passengers on its next pass. Where is it? Here it goes. we're gonna need to build up a little bit of money to do anything anyway. So let's just watch this roll in and see what it does next time. It's just hauling mail up. The service takes forever, doesn't it? That service bonus, that penalty she pays on service matters. What's he going to do now? What'd he do? What in the world? Where's he going? Oh man, are we missing a? I think we just solved the whole thing. Let's reset this guy. Go here. Now he's hauling passengers down there. Now let's go back and see if Jacksonville can go to Miami. Now it can go everywhere. I see what was happening. The line from Tampa to Miami was missing the switch at this end. So the line was actually going down here and then going all, then to return it was going, it had to go all the way up here to turn around to go back. And that line, that distance is more than twice that distance, so it wouldn't do it. So now let's just check to see if everybody can go everywhere. See if that hillbilly astrologer guy knows what he's talking about. Look at that. Oh, he does. He does. That's all it took. That's interesting. Okay, that one little line having a mistake in it kept passengers from all over this from wanting to go to Key West or to Miami down in here. And that makes every line you have messed up. One little mistake makes everything work less efficiently. Interesting. All right, let's get ready. What else can we do? We're just growing this region. What we need to do now is anticipate what's coming next, right? And I can't remember if we did this or not. Okay, here we go. What's coming next for you is going to be an immigration office. And for you, you're not there yet, I guess. You're not there. Now we got Tampa at double growth because they've gotten the wood. Now they're at 100%. Good. Good. Okay, so now we can start anticipating what's coming next for these guys to keep them growing. And that's going to be milk, then veggies, then fruit, right? And there's milk right out here. There's 2 milk right here and up here. So I think we'll let this milk feed these 5 cities down here. So why don't we buy this while it's cheap? It's not making any money because nobody needs milk, but they're going to. And let's figure out how we want to get it into our system. We want to run it from here. And I do know, because I've played this before, there is a task where we have to make dairy products out of Jacksonville, right? So it's going to make sense to kind of run it into Jacksonville. So I think what we'll do is this. I think we'll have a station out here, and we'll try to remember to put maintenance on all the stations from now on, particularly all the rural stations. And why don't we do this? Why don't we take this station right here? Let's add a warehouse to it. And in this warehouse, let's take milk. Okay. So we know we're going to target the next business in Jacksonville will be a dairy. So if we take the milk directly there, that'll help that grow, and then excess milk can go out to the rest of the world. Okay. So we can go. Oh, that's right. We got that big long piece of track where I was making a point. Okay. Let's go down here. I want to go. We kind of want to circumvent this, so let's make a connection off of the city and just kind of run a line through Pensacola like this, and then up to here. And I think I want to leave it a little bit more room. I want to leave it some room in case we expand this station for any reason. I do want it to be full speed there. There we go. So we'll build a bypass around this, and we're even going to. They have. I saw a post from Johnny, and I read the notes myself. That the big update that went out has fixed this whole. They're waiting. Start over. They fixed that whole problem where you would have a line waiting, and it would tie up like the whole station just because you had a train waiting, right? Which is, of course, is wrong, but they fixed that. So let's see, this is going to be that side, I think. That's all max. Let's give it a little more room right there, I think. Okay. And we can go up there. So since they fixed it, I'm just going to put a gridiron here, and we're going to run a couple of lines. So we're going to run one line that we just described. It goes over here. And we want it to, yeah, it uses the bypass because that's the only way it can go. And it goes over here like this. And we don't really have a good way to use this bypass to go up there, and it looks like it'd just be too big a mess to fix. So we'll just run right through Tallahassee. That'll be all right. We're going to choose the Scotsman, then make it freight. And 18 days, and we're going to have it run full. Okay. We've got some signals we need right here. All right, good deal. Okay, now the other one I want to run is actually this scenario is all about growing Miami at the end of the day. So we're going to go down here and put in our warehouse in Miami, we're going to accept milk. Actually, we're going to accept milk and veggies and fruit, okay? Then we're going to go, now we could run a shorter line to Tampa, but we've got fast trains. We've got flying Scotsmen, so we're going to run a train that goes from here to here. And it's going to run full. The Flying Scotsman, freight, 28 days, good. And just as an example, here's 28 days, and if we run the Santa Fe, it's 43 days. It's 2 weeks faster, in theory. Okay, so that gives us 2 lines. Those 2 trains should spawn and just sit there, yep. They're going to sit there until we need milk. Then we want to do the same thing with, and remember we've got a line here running from Tampa to Miami, to hauling goods back and forth. So that line can, when the time comes, take milk up to Tampa. Because actually Tampa will hit the milk stage before Miami will. Okay, I had a little interruption now. I don't know what I was doing. Ah, yes. We're going to get veggies going into our system. Now, we've got it set up to go, should be set up here on this warehouse. Yes, veggies and fruit. And corn, for that matter. So what we're going to do here, we'd like to send them down here to Miami as well. So when the time comes, they'll be ready to go. So we're going to put a station. If we put a station over here, we should be able, to get both of these and kind of run it back a ways. Would it be better like this? Yeah, run it back here where we pick up both veggies and coal back here, and then we can plug it into this and give it enough runway so we can get a train off there waiting if we need a second train. So we'll go like this and like this, and hopefully we'll get a couple there. Good. See that signal right there? There's one right here. That means but you notice there's nothing back here even though there's space. So we could run a train off here. So we could have 2 trains running this line, because one could get here and it would have a signal behind it. If you don't have a signal behind it, if you have one waiting in here, it's just like it's right back here. And then everybody would be gummed up. Our whole system would get gummed up. So without the Jan Jansens, we have to be able to run fairly long shunt lines off here to, the tracks that go out to your rural stations off your main lines. So let's run a full train here to the Miami down here. And do we have any bypasses? Yeah, we definitely wanted to take that bypass. It's taking this one by default. So we'd like it to go here and hit 1 on the way down and 2 on the way back. Okay, 21 days, good deal. All right, so that'll get veggies down to Miami, and then we just need one. We'll put a station over here on this side of the world that can pick up both in case we need them. That should work. And tell you what, let's there's a is there? Okay, there's no supplies on this area here. All right, so we can go wherever we want. All right, so let's go. It doesn't have to be that long. That should work. And is there a signal? Well, it should work, but it didn't. There's no signal here. So I mean, there's almost zero chance we're going to run 2 trains on this short little line. So I'm okay with leaving it the way it is. But that is a little frustrating that I can't get another signal in here. Now, of course, if there's a signal here and you run an extra train, no matter what you do, you could leak out into the main line, right? But this, we can't even have 1 train waiting. We really can't. You think you can. You really, really can't. But that's okay in this case. It's such a short line that we would never run. I can't see us running 2 trains, but you know what? If we end up later on running coal in there as well as veggies, and the cities are pretty good size, that could change. It really could. Freight line like that. Okay. And let's get our fruit. And let's buy this while it's nice and cheap so we can control it down the road. I'm trying to tell you to go and you don't want to go. Okay. We'll buy that. We did buy that one, good. And let's go out here and buy this fruit. I don't mind buying them later on when I've already got an economy and I've got money coming in. They make sense to me to buy. Okay, buy that, and we'll go. I don't like owning them ever. because if you own them, you have to control them, right? We have to keep them in sync and all that. If you don't own them, the computer operator does it for you. But as we've seen, when you're trying to grow cities quickly and that's your task, that computer operator is thinking of his own business. He's not thinking about your task list. So here, and there, like that. Did we get another? I can't even see the signals. There's one there. See, on that big long line, we don't even get a second signal. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. Why wouldn't there be another signal here? I guess you don't want a short block, right, where you would be hanging out. But the truth is, a train right here is hanging out. It is. Well, it's hanging out because this section right there, if a train is in this, then he is in, his block runs all the way from right there, all the way back to right there where that is. And notice this section of track right in here, he's blocking this. So I can't understand the logic why you wouldn't just space these out at train widths and put as many in there as you can. I don't follow that. Someone explain that one to me. There's another assignment for you. Explain that. Let's see. Okay, 5-day line. All right, so we have preloaded fruit, milk, veggies. We don't have fruit running down here to this end, and we definitely want that. So how are we going to, that could be more interesting. Probably some kind of a bridged tunnel, something or other is in our future. Or we could run it possibly this way. This is a freight line. Yeah, we could run it this way and just cross over one line and hook into this. Let's do that. Let's go out this way. Well, first of all, I want to make sure, I'm pretty sure that there's no fruit anywhere else, right? There's nothing down here. There's one here. See, that's it. Fruit is the other one that's tough. There's only the one fruit on the whole map. All right, so let's go. I mean, we could put in another station, but we'll just use this one. It's fine. Maybe we'll go like this and like that. Now we can accept this, or we could blow this up and have the passenger run over it, but these lines are pretty small. Although it doesn't like something here. I've got this messed up somehow. It doesn't like how it comes out of here. Okay. Okay, that will do nicely. And we need some money. Oh, speaking of, can we get any? Nope. Okay, we'll build that. We'll give it signals. Put a maintenance station there, and I don't know if I did these others, so I'm going to do it while I'm thinking of it. Malone Terminal. And Malone Stop. Okay. Now, we could run this just right through the our station here, but I think we'll give it a bypass. Let's see. Like this. through the town. Through the town. That works. Okay, that gives you one bypass. Now, and you've got one here at Tampa. Oh, that puts you over here, though, doesn't it? Oh, okay. That's fine. So we'll do this warehouse here. Well, it can still do fruit. And we'll just have fruit over here on this warehouse. And we can take the fruit in here and then ship it back and forth here. And we probably, I think we even have some trains running this, don't we? Jacksonville to Tampa. Oh, it's Jacksonville to Tampa. So our Tampa Miami thing is all over here, which is fine because the fruit can come in here and transfer over there to go up. So that's all good. So let's set up our line between West Terminal out here and that freight station. And let's check the path it takes. It's trying to go through the station. So when you come out of West Terminal, we want you to hit that. And on the way back, we want you to hit that. And I would say I've got a turnaround problem going here somewhere. Or do I? No, I've got no problems. Okay. So you're going to come out, go around Jacksonville, around Tampa, jog over here, and come into Miami. Okay, good deal. And that's going to be 25 days. You might be able to hear the rain out. We're getting a nice little rain shower right now. Okay. And, oh, did I make him run full? I did not. Now he's run full. And I'm going to reset him. And I want to make sure that this guy is running out of track 1. And then this guy here, he doesn't need to make that journey. We're going to make him track 2 run full, trains 0, trains 1. There we go. And he can respawn in the right place. Okay. Let's see. Here's a great one. Maintenance requirements are less. We'll take that for 100. I'll take maintenance requirements are less for 100, Alex. Okay. 35. I don't know what else we can do to this thing right now. I mean, obviously we could set up growth up here if we wanted to, maybe make a little more money on it or something, but I think we've done all that we need to do to make things better right now. So I think I'm going to go away for a bit and, well, let's see how close are we. Yeah, I'm going to go away for a bit while this runs. I'll probably fool around with, putting in some more stuff up here, setting up some growth up in these 4 northern cities, and mess around with that. But truth be told, we have everything set up and even preset for what we need to do next. All right, welcome back. We are approaching 120,000 for our North Florida region. It's taken us almost a year, and I think that's a little slow. But I don't know how we could have gone much faster. Possibly started a little sooner. But we put a first industry in Pensacola. We put a sawmill.
Do not underestimate how important the completion of this interim goal has been. It proves that we are on the right track with our methods. So far, so good. But that was only the first stage. Mr. Flagler has even more plans for us. Good news. You'll love our next goals. Mr. Flagler wants to connect the Florida Keys. He calls it the Key West Extension. but in the press it's simply called Flagler's Folly. I would say that if we approach this correctly, it can definitely work. Mr. Flagler has already had some outlandish suggestions for the implementation, but we of course don't have to adhere to everything he says.
Okay, so what do we got to do? Express status Montgomery and Miami. Immigration in Miami means we have to grow Miami. Here's the aforementioned dairy products in Jacksonville. 240 passengers to Key West. We should be totally set up for that because every city on the map wants to send people to Key West. And 11 different goods available in Miami at the same time. Grow Miami. And then our optional tasks are produce newspaper in Miami, which we can easily do by putting a newspaper business there, provided we have a paper mill somewhere else to feed it. 4 universities, or university in 4 cities, so we got to grow 4 cities. We're already set up growing 5. And make 18 different goods available in Miami, which means grow Miami a whole bunch. So what I did in the interim, instead of trying to grow this up here, I actually went in and did the dedicated passenger mail thing. So now, like this line here, is actually Augusta to Charleston well, there's 2 of them. And I've got 2 different styles here to see which one we like. This one, the passenger train and the dedicated mail train share track in the middle. And then the mail train just splits off to go to the freight station where we have the post office, right? So there's a post office here and here. And over here we've got maintenance and a restaurant. And back here we've got, I think that's how it works, yeah, restaurant and a market hall. So I took out the post office here, moved it over there. So now you got this train coming in with a 25% bonus, and then we've got this guy coming in. So you see, you make a little extra money because now we have 2 good lines running instead of 1. The one great line we had before was a little better than it is now because it loses a bit because these cities aren't big enough. As the cities get bigger, this is just more obvious. So now you got Atlanta, Augusta is the passenger thing, and then we've got one here that's the freight, the mail, right? So split it up. Did I do this one? Yeah, I did this one, and this one has dedicated tracks. So this one has the passenger line dedicated with a couple of trains on it, and we've got a dedicated line for the freight, which also has express status, which is nice. Didn't quite get around to doing this part yet. May do that later. We've got everything growing. We put the sawmill here because we know we're going to put a dairy here as soon as we hit 40,000. We're going to put, I think we'll put clothing. We'll put clothing in Tallahassee because we've got that direct line up to the cloth coming down. And this would be a good place for clothing too, obviously. But since they asked us to do the dairy, we could get away with putting the dairy here because we got that milk going directly there, which is handy. And then if we have the clothing here, that'll be fine. And then what we'll have to do is, as these cities get big enough to need those things, we'll get some direct lines going like Pensacola down to this chain and Tallahassee down to this chain. We already have Jacksonville doing that. And we should be in good shape. And this is now, this whole thing, except for, a couple little odds and ends, this is all about growing Miami. That's the whole deal. And we'll work on that next episode. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it'll help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for our next Railway Empire 2 video. Thank you.